Happy day, Mother Chap. Happy day. Rockin' with your favorite family entertainer. Stickity, stickity, motivated with the vibes that are greater. Your girl, ennyarodasi. And today is the day after Thanksgiving. And we have some rice and beans, baked mac and cheese, this is a snack on. Oh, it's a snack on. It is a full meal.
8 o'clock?
It's a full meal. Happy day, Mother Chap. Happy day, ennyarodasi time.
Don't hurt her, Paul. I have no intention of hurting her.
It's sniggity sniggity to have a mentality, nostalgic mentality.
Where to go down to the station and get me a ticket on the 11 o'clock?
Jump. We're going to read Captain Underpants and the Wrath of the Wicked Widget Woman. I'll read
That's exciting.
9 chapters. Hi everybody. Before you read this story, there's some stuff you need to know. Read this comic book to fill yourself in on the story so far. But remember, this info is top secret. So don't let it fall into the wrong hands. The trouble with Captain Underpants. Now it can be told. An informational comic by George and Harold. Once upon a time, there were 2 kids named George and Harold. We kick butt, me too. They had a mean principal named Mr. Krupp. Come over here, Bubs. No way. One time, George and Harold hypnotized Mr. Krupp with a 3D hypno ring. You will obey our command. Okay. George and Harold made him think he was a great superhero named Captain Underpants. Look, I'm Captain Underpants. Ha ha ha. It was funny at first, and then Mr. Krupp jumped out the window. Hey, where do you think you're going? To fight crime, okay? George and Harold had to chase after him so he wouldn't get hurt or get killed and hurt. Come over here, bub. No way. They had many adventures with lots of inappropriate humor. Diapers and toilets and poop. Oh my. Then one day, Mr. Krupp accidentally drank super juice. Now he got superpowers. He can fly, too. 2 things you have to be careful about is water and finger snaps. If you snap your fingers by Mr. Krupp, he turns into Captain Underpants. Tra-la-la! And if you pour water on Captain Underpants' head, he turns back into Mr. Krupp. Blah, blah, blah. So if you see Mr. Krupp, don't snap your fingers, or you'll be sorry. And if you see Captain America, don't pour water on his head, or you'll be sorrier. Remember, this is top secret, so don't tell anybody. Chapter 1, George and Harold. This is George Beard and Harold Hutchins. George is the kid on the left, with the tie and the flat top. Harold is the one on the right with the t-shirt and the bad haircut. Remember that now. At most schools, teachers try reading to emphasize the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. But George and Harold's teacher, Miss Ribble, was more concerned with enforcing what she called the 3 S's. Sit down, shut up, sit down, shut your pie holes, and stop driving me crazy. While this was unfortunate for all her students, it was especially bad for George and Harold, because they were very imaginative boys. You see, imagination was not really encouraged at George and Harold's school. In fact, it was discouraged. Imagination would only get you a one-way ticket to the principal's office. This was sad for George and Harold because they didn't get straight A's. They weren't sports stars, and they could barely walk down the hallway without getting in trouble. George and Harold had one thing that most other folks at Jerome Horowitz Elementary didn't have: imagination. They were full of it. And one day, they would use that imagination to save the entire human race from being overthrown by a crazed woman with even crazier superpowers. Before I tell you that story, I tell you this story. Chapter 2. Miss Ribble's Big News. One day, George and Harold's homeroom teacher, Miss Ribble, entered the classroom looking a bit meaner than usual. "All right, settle down," shouted Miss Ribble. "I have some bad news. I'm retiring." "Hooray!" cried the children. "Not today," snapped Miss Ribble. "At the end of the school year." "Aw, man," moaned the children. The staff is throwing a retirement party for me today, said Miss Ribble. Hooray, cried the children. During recess, said Miss Ribble. Oh man, moaned the children. There'll be lots of free ice cream, said Miss Ribble. Hooray, cried the children. My favorite flavor, chunky tofu, said Miss Ribble. Aw, man, moaned the children. But first, said Miss Ribble, it's time for something fun. Hooray, cried the children. You all get to make happy retirement cards for me, said Miss Ribble. Aw, man, moaned the children. Chapter 3, When You Care Enough to Send the Very Best. Miss Ribble went around the classroom handing out envelopes, sheets of construction paper, and butterfly stencils to all the children. Then she wrote a poem on the chalkboard. All right, take out your crayons, said Miss Ribble harshly. I want to use stencils to make a yellow butterfly on the front of your cards. When you're done, copy this poem on the inside. Can we make up our own poems? Asked Melvin sneakily. No, snapped Miss Ribble. Do we have to use stencils? Asked Aaron Mancini. Yes, yelled Miss Ribble. Can we make our butterflies purple? Asked Stephanie Yarkoff. No, screamed Miss Ribble. Butterflies are yellow. Everyone knows that. While the rest of the class worked on their cards, George and Harold had a better idea. Let's make Miss Ribble a comic book instead, said George. Yeah, said Harold. We can make it all about her. It'll be cool. So that's just what they did. Chapter 4, Captain Underpants and the Wrath of the Wicked Veggie Woman. Once upon a time, there was a really mean teacher named Miss Ribble who was very mean. She gave us lots of homework and yelled at us all the time. One time at Christmas vacation, she gave everybody 41 book reports. Wake up, it's time to open your presents. I can't, I have to do my homework. After Christmas, everybody turned in a big pile of book reports. Then something terrible happened. Crash! Help! Miss Ribble was buried in a mountain of book reports. She's really most sincerely dead. No, she's not. We can rebuild her. Mrs. Doctor. We can make her better than she was. Faster, stronger, eviler. When Miss Ribble got out of the hospital, she had bionic powers. I'll take over the world! Ha ha ha! So she made an evil costume. Her bionic beehive hairdo opened up to reveal an evil wedgie roboclaw. Ouchies! Ha ha ha! Nobody can stop me now. Help! Wedgie woman is in the teacher's lounge. She just drank all the coffee and now she's giving gym teacher a killer wedgie. Oh, the horror! She better make a fresh pot. This looks like a job for Captain Underpants. What's the problem, bub? Help, it's Wedgie Woman. So Captain Underpants got into a big fight with Wedgie Woman. She tried to give him a wedgie, but Captain Underpants was faster than a speeding waistband, more powerful than boxer shorts. and able to leap tall buildings without getting a wedgie. Tra-la-la! So Wedgie Woman went to the store to buy some spray starch. Wedgie Woman sprayed. Oh no! My underpants is all stiff and uncomfortable. Captain Underpants tried to push the button on his utility waistband, but they were broke. He was powerless. Wedgie Woman gave Captain Underpants a big wedgie, then she hung him from a pole. Soon some kids came by. Captain Underpants needs our help, so they threw him a rope. And they pulled really hard and let go. Boing! Splash! The kids poured fabric softener in the pool. Suddenly, the starch got washed away. Hooray! My underpants is soft and cottony once again. Hallelujah! Thanks, kids. No problemo. Soon Captain Underpants found Wedgie Woman. Remember me? Get him, Roboclaw! He flew up and looped around, and the Roboclaw reached for underwear, but it grabbed the wrong pair. It's off to jail with you! Tra-la-la! Notice any similarities to actual persons, living or dead, is very, very unfortunate. When Miss Ribble read the comic book that George and Harold had made, she was furious. Boys, she yelled, you just earned yourself a one-way ticket to the principal's office. But all we did was use our imagination, said George. You're not allowed to do that in this school, snapped Miss Ribble. Didn't you read chapter 1? George and Harold gathered their things, and soon they were sitting in the office outside Miss Crupp's door. Miss Crupp is on the phone, said school secretary Miss Anthrope. Why don't you boys make yourself useful and copy that Friday memo for me? You can pass them out to the classrooms for me while I go to lunch. Oh man, said George. Quit your whining, Buster, shouted Miss Anthrope. I want this done by the time I get back, or you'll both be sorry. Miss Anthrope grabbed her coat and stomped out the door. George and Harold looked at the Friday memo. It was a weekly newsletter that told all about the events of the upcoming week. Hey, said George, Miss Anthrope's computer is still on. Y'all want to make a few changes to this newsletter? Why not, said Harold. Monday. School canceled. No classes. No classes today. Tuesday. National Wear Your Pajamas to School and Pick Your Nose Day. Wednesday. Cheerleader tryouts today. Thursday. Football practice rescheduled. Friday. Yearbook photos taken today. So George and Harold typed up their version of the Jerome Horowitz Elementary Friday memo. Then they ran copies for all the students in the school. Chapter 6. The Retirement Card. George and Harold were gathering their new and improved Friday memo. Copies into small piles when Principal Krupp came into the office. Hey, Mr. Krupp shouted. What are you two troublemakers doing in here? Miss Anthrope told us to pass the Friday memo out to all the classrooms, said George innocently. Well, make it snappy, yelled Principal Krupp. Suddenly, Harold got a sneaky idea. He took out the blank piece of construction paper that Miss Ribble had given him earlier. Hey, Mr. Krupp, said Harold. "Will you sign this retirement card for our teacher?" Mr. Krupp grabbed the card from Harold and eyed it suspiciously. "This card is blank," Mr. Krupp growled. "I know," said Harold. "Our class is going to decorate it later. We wanted you to be the first to sign it." "Well, all right then," said Mr. Krupp. He opened the card and quickly scribbled, "Signed, Mr. Krupp," on the inside. Then he stormed out the office. "What are you going to do with that?" asked George. "You'll see," said Harold, smiling. George and Harold passed out the Friday memo and made it back to their classrooms just in time for Miss Ribble's retirement party. George quickly changed the letters around on the sign outside the door, while Harold wrote a special greeting on Mr. Krupp's card and stuffed it into the envelope. George and Harold walked down the hallway toward the detention room. "Wow," said George. "That was pretty cool how you got Mr. Krupp to deliver that phony card for you." "Yep," said Harold. "I used reverse psychology on him. But I've got to try that sometime," said George. "By the way, what did you write on that card?" "You'll see," said Harold, smiling. Chapter 8. The Party. Miss Ribble's retirement party started off bad and just got worse. First, Miss Ribble forced the class to sing a corny song to her. By the time she was done yelling at the boys for singing off-key, the chunky tofu ice cream was melted. Everybody had to eat it anyway. Then the children handed in their happy retirement cards. Miss Ribble ripped several of the cards up because of some of the children had mistakenly drawn polka dots on their butterflies. One unfortunate boy also had drawn a happy, smiling sunshine on his card, and he had to stand in the corner. Finally, Mr. Krupp stepped forward and handed Mr. Ribble the card he had snatched from Harold's hand. I went to a lot of trouble to get this for you," Mr. Krupp said gallantly. Miss Ribble tore the envelope open and read the card out loud. "You're one hot mama," said Miss Ribble, with a shocked look on her face. "Ew!" cried the children. "Will you marry me? ? Signed Mr. Krupp. She opened the card and read the inside. "Will you marry me? Signed Mr. Krupp." "Ew!" cried the children. The teachers gasped. Then the room grew silent. Miss Ribble glared over at Mr. Krupp, who had turned bright red and began sweating profusely. He tried to speak. He tried to tell her it was all a big mistake. He tried to say something, but all that came out was bubba, baba, haba, haba, wah, wah, congratulations, said Mr. Meaner, as he patted Mr. Krupp's sweaty, shivering shoulder. "Yes, congratulations," shouted Miss Amthrope. "This will be the best wedding in the whole world. And we can have it here and at school. A week from Saturday, I'll plan everything. You lovebirds, you don't have to worry about a thing." "Great, thanks," said Miss Ribble, still looking quite angry and confused. Mr. Krupp was stuttering. "The The following week at Jerome Horowitz Elementary School was definitely one of the weirdest ones they had in a while. For example, none of the kids showed up for school on Monday. Mr. Krupp didn't even seem to notice. "Hey, where is everyone today?" asked Mr. Erected. Mr. Krupp stuttered. On Tuesday, everybody did show up in their pajamas. "Why is everybody picking their noses?" asked Misfit. Mr. Krupp stuttered. On Wednesday, for some strange reason, the whole school smelled like garlic and rotten egg salad sandwiches. Especially some of the girls. "Boy," said Miss Guided, "the styles today are sure getting bizarre." Mr. Krupp stuttered. Thursday was without a doubt a complete and total disaster. "There's a food fight in the lunchroom," shouted Mr. Rustworthy, "and the football team is destroying the teacher's lounge." Mr. Krupp stuttered. Now, nobody was sure what happened on Friday. Apparently there was a mix-up with the dress code and the yearbook photos. "Our school pictures are ruined," shouted Miss Dakin. Mr. Krupp stuttered. "Yes, it was a freaky week, all right. But the big wedding was only one day away, and things were about to get really freaky." And really freaky things were about to get. Anyways.
Where you go?
I kid. Next chapter is chapter 10, The Big Wedding. One of the rules of the summer camp I attended as a girl was no food in the cabins. And like all the best rules, there was good reason for it. That good reason was called ants. Camp staff had learned that the hard way. Those sneaky little devils would sniff out crackers, cookies, granola bars, and gummy bears. They'd follow the tiniest trace of crumbs straight to the source, and then call all their friends to line up, file in, capture the booty, and file back out into the antland. But the problem was, they'd keep coming back to Girl Land and search for more treasure. Did I still stash granola bars, my beloved Reese's Cups, Capri Sun juices, Capri Sun juice pouches, chips, and Oreos under my bunk? You know, I did. And sure enough, those ants did what ants do. They followed the crumbs that were right in front of them and found my stash. That crumb trail lesson was also a key plot element in the German fairy tale captured by Brothers Grimm. What I had remembered as a harmless childhood story upon adult inspection, turns out to be a pretty gruesome tale of child neglect, abuse, and cannibalism. When their parents try to abandon siblings Hansel and Gretel in the woods, the kids catch on to the plan. So that savvy Hansel leaves a trail of white pebbles and later breadcrumbs in order to find their way home to the parents who tried to do to them, like I said, disturbing. The contrast of trails related to unwanted insects and child endangerment is the kind of trail that leads you where you want to be. It's the ladder square on the chutes and ladders board. It's the advance to go collect $200 chance card in Monopoly. It's the gumdrop pass square on the Candyland game board. And God is leaving you breadcrumbs. God wants you to notice those clues as you become the woman who knows and fulfills her unique purpose. God leaves crumbs because He is gracious. It's true. And it's a good thing. These crumbs are signs of His guidance. It's in His nature to do so. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. God enjoys seeing us in the details of our lives. He helps us on the way by leaving a trail of breadcrumbs right in plain sight. The first and most obvious of those crumbs are the words that He has taken care over thousands of years to make available for our instruction. Psalms 119 through 133 says, "Direct my footsteps according to your word. Let no sin rule over me." Let me be clear here. Many of the places where I have felt the most lost came as a result of my choice to not follow the trail. He had already made clear. I am so thankful that working my way back from the drifts, decisions, or collisions wasn't a guessing game. It simply started with knowing and acting on the words God shared in His letter of love. We can't see our path, my friend, if we don't look in two places. What God has said in His word for revelation to all, and what He's placed in us individually that directs our lives according to our gifts, abilities, interests, and natures. Now, I don't mean to sound all super spiritual here, trust me. During many seasons of my life, I wish I'd been more spiritual minded and more consistent in acting on the principles that I'm sharing here with you. I'm sharing with you here. That's what I love about God. He keeps on loving and leading me even when I haven't always been faithful. He's always loving and leading you too. Just follow the crumbs. One of the things I love about the story of Moses in the Bible is that in hindsight, it's very clear how God led Moses to the place of leading God's people, the Israelites, in Exodus 2. We read about Moses and his passion for the Hebrew people. Even though he was raised as Egyptian royalty, Moses was so passionate that he murdered an Egyptian who whipped a Hebrew slave. After running for fear of his life into the desert, Moses no longer had life of royalty, but instead took on the lowly position of a shepherd. He led sheep. Moses learned in exile how to take care of animals that aren't known for being sharp tacks, or being the sharpest tacks. He got practice caring for those who needed constant guidance and direction. So, when God shows up in the burning bush in Exodus 3 and tells Moses it's time to lead the Hebrew people into the freedom, Moses is confused. How could God be asking him to do such a thing when he was such a sinful, simple, unsophisticated soul? God saw what Moses didn't. He saw Moses' passion and personality, as well as the profession he had developed. And God could use those. Can't you see it? I'm guessing that it's easier for you to see it with Moses' story than it is to see it with your own. That's the problem, isn't it? It's always so easy to see the trail of breadcrumbs in someone else's life. Right now, in this moment, you might feel like you have absolutely no idea where you're headed. That's okay. You are okay, remember? God will never leave you without a next step. Hints, evidence, breadcrumbs. This is such good news if you've never had a clear vision of who you wanted the girl inside you to be. You serve a God who knows you better than you know yourself. And he wants to surprise you with who he knows you can be. In the second grade, I found myself in the middle of an effort to bring world peace to the school playground and to do my part to break up a cat fight between two girls from my class. Nobody asked for my help. There's something in my DNA doesn't like to see unnecessary anguish, anger, or heartache. I recall feeling as if it were my duty to help them make peace, because if they had peace, then our class could have peace, and we'd have a better classroom. Simple enough, right? In my second grade brain, it totally made sense that I would spend part of recess with one-on-one end of the playground hearing her side of the story. Then walk to the other end to do the same with the other girl. Fast forward to high school. Spend part of my recess with one girl on one end of the playground, hearing her side of the story. Then walk to the other end to do the same with the other girl. Fast forward to high school, where in the church youth group I always seemed to have ideas for how we could make things better and experience more community. I felt like it was my duty to meet with the leaders of the youth group, present my thoughts, and then help implement everything I presented. My goal was to create a collective experience that would benefit everybody. As I look back, the trail is clear. It's easy to see our own crumbs in hindsight. I love seeing where people are not together and creating an environment, a structure, or a program to bring them into a community. That's no surprise today. I'm involved in various areas of the women's ministry at my church, and I'm always on the lookout for creative ways to bring women together for the betterment of the whole. Even when no one is looking for my help or suggestions, I can't help but offer them. It's not only a natural gift for me, but being a gatherer of people is also an ability I've cultivated over time, even without being aware of it. I'm passionate about seeing people connect, and because personality tests tell me I'm perfect balance between an extrovert and an introvert, I'm suited for dealing with groups of people, while also being a lover of one-on-one. Back whenever I was having that identity crisis at age 12 and crying my eyeballs out in my parents' bedroom, I had no idea that creating community is what I'd one day be doing. It totally makes sense now. How did I get there? I followed the breadcrumbs, discovered the knowledge of how God made me, and acted on the opportunities that He provided. Can I give you one more example of how to make peace with following breadcrumbs? My sister Priscilla teaches the Bible. When she was in college, Priscilla worked at a radio station, and because her familiar voice over the airwaves, someone asked her to lead a Bible study for a group of girls. She didn't want to do it. Leading a Bible study was not on her list of things to do. However, she loved God, she loved the Bible, and loved to talk. So she followed the breadcrumbs. She decided it couldn't hurt, and it led to the study for a while. It led the study for a while. And well, you probably know how things end up. If you don't, just Google Priscilla. Sure. Do you see how this works? First, you take the time to look at what's inside of you and who you already know yourself to be. Then it's up to you to pay attention to the opportunities that come your way. And then you act. Your life's work is to discover and use your unique combination of abilities, interests, and nature, especially in spaces and places that are life-giving for you. In your job, in your home, within your community, and in your church. You may not know everything there is to know. You don't have to. Just connect what you know with what you do, and watch new trails form in front of you. Here's what I know. God is sovereign. He's always had a plan and a destination in mind. We just have to follow the breadcrumbs. Or crushed peanut butter crackers. Or granola bar crumbles. Follow them. Connect you. Connect what you know with what you do, and watch new trails form in front of you. What crumbs point to your design? And whom's design points to what crumbs? What crumbs has God given you in His Word? Are you following them? have read from Captain Underpants, and we have read Happy Thanksgiving. It has been a while since we've trolled, huh? and drowning. Kinda cool. Very cool. What do you mean kinda cool? That is very cool. Romantic experience. I would imagine even from perspective. Or especially from his perspective. I wonder how long it was, was to write that, right? Oh no, be mad, be very, very mad. Holly Berry, hallelujah. Hallelujah, not how to lose ya. Sheesh. A license number. I'm the one. Birthday special. Over a decade of, what is it? Things and stuff and such. What you mean? What you mean? What you do? Preparing for a philosophy test. So what's the philosophy? concern. Dizzle. Ennyarodasi. So the philosophy of phonics. This is Symposium of Phonics, right? It's the Symposium of Phonics. Oh, why so? I'm jutting. So what do you think of the psychology test? Was it a psychology test? I'm just kidding. I don't know. You know, so there's ISS is in school suspension. OSS is out of school suspension. If you have too many ISSs and OSSs, you are expelled from school. What's the inscript? Spells that. Woo! There, I just said. Heavy deep in the limousine. To expel ennyarodasi. I know. Sometimes we utilize. Sometimes we utilize butter knife to stir our coffee. Sometimes we utilize katanas to spread jelly. Is that an explanation? She crazy. Ennyarodasi, you out here talking crazy, girl. What did you ask me? Oh no, you mentioned that aliens don't speak. I don't know if that was supposed to be a sage. What is this over here? Are they playing word for word? Juan on Juan. That b-ball. Happy freaking day. Did you make a turkey for your Thanksgiving? Did you eat chicken for your Thanksgiving? Did you make some nice fixins? See, so notice that in the South, it's fixins, and the northern way of that would be not appropriate. That would not be appropriate for my current language. It was not fun for you to advance the Pig Latin and make is it gibberish? I think gibberish is it's a subject in some schools. Okay, son. There's a sleepy dinosaur. Did you just call me a creepy dinosaur? Thank you very much. Please tell me more ways. Please mention to me more ways that I, appear to you as a creepy dinosaur. As a creepy dinosaur. Google is a very, it would be close to infinity. Right? Google. You know, in New York, sometimes whenever you notice somebody that you know, you'd whistle at each other. Ever play a red light, green light, 1, 2, 3? I must, provide you, I would, must provide you with, Halo, the Halo technology. Kinda. Because Halo is kind of an alien. It's a game where these aliens are freaking they're alien battle galacticas. They're Battical Galacticas. They're alien Battical Galacticas from the game Chess Rules. Chess Rules. What is it? Open Heart Surgery Jethro. Just in case. Undercover. This is very jolly. So we have some people that maybe have kids in the chat, careers, significant others. Jabnar? Is that your nickname? to be grateful for art. Life is art. To be grateful for the life that has been created for you. With you in mind, with you in spirit. Dimensionally, could be understood for every dimension. Though if you scar yourself early, then you are trained to have, some sort of wall up to, just in general, subtly. Catching yourself whenever, you want some fuck shit. Or, when you're about some fuck shit. If your wits, just saying, really, have your wits about you, ennyarodasi. Whenever you're so mad, you just start typing numbers and letters in the chat. Yeah! Crow! Crow! We've been 1 hour and 12 minutes. It was just 3 seconds. That was three. Oh man. You could say some dumb thing. You could say some dumb thing. 3 seconds of miscalculating the trajectory of said dumb, just stop making me notice you as a human. How dare you stir up human emotion in me. Emotion. Is this an e-girl chat? y'all sound creepy. I just call. How is it? I just came to say, shut up. That is not traditional for you to be whenever trying to... Alright. 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 Man! So... These lactose. You know that Vance Joy song? Up there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Oh. Yeah. Whenever the MC, whatever the MC, messes, whenever the MC, messes up the lyrics. Nah! Alright, whenever the MC freaking... No! Vance Joy! No, you can't freaking use a song reference and then fucking, fucking somehow say some shit that fucking make me question your reference to, your soundscape there? What do you mean? Pass my face into a mirror. Oh, ennyarodasi. You better learn how to explain yourself. Explain yourself. Oh! Well, gosh, golly gee willikers. Oh, and I'll kiss you tomorrow. I'll miss you Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll write home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you.